This is the new 2024 Chevrolet Colorado ZR2 Bison Edition, and this is the new 2024 Ford Ranger Raptor. Which of these mid-size trucks is best for everyday adventures? We're going to compare all the features and then pick a winner. That's coming up right now on Driving Sports TV. Today we're at our Peninsula Proving Grounds in Western Washington to compare two of the most exciting mid-size off-road trucks you can buy today. On one side we have the 2024 Chevrolet Colorado ZR2 Bison. This takes the already great mid-size Colorado ZR2 and adds a long list of off-road equipment from AEV. This is the all-new North American 2024 Ford Ranger Raptor. It might share the general look of the new standard Ranger, but underneath the wide-body skin, it is very different. It also comes with a very long list of off-road goodies. Both of these trucks can take you to the desert or mountains and back again in relative comfort. But which one is better? To decide, I'm going to be looking at a number of features, including tech, comfort, ease of use, and of course, what we're going to start with, the powertrain. The Chevrolet Colorado ZR2 Bison includes the TurboMax version of Chevy's family motor. This is a 2.7-liter turbocharged four-cylinder that produces a peak 310 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque. Power goes to all four wheels through an automatic four-wheel drive system with a dual-speed transfer case. Lockers are standard on both the front and back axles. The Ford Ranger Raptor here includes a 3-liter twin-turbocharged V6, producing a peak 405 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque. It also has an automatic four-wheel drive system, in addition to two-wheel drive, 4-high and 4-low. Also, like the Colorado, it has both lockers in the front and the back. For powertrain, I gotta give the win to the Ranger Raptor. I'm sorry, a twin-turbocharged V6 is always gonna beat a turbocharged four-cylinder. For this next category, we're gonna take a look at the standard off-road equipment that both these trucks come with. And yeah, Chevy wins. So why does the Bison win? First, you get all this great AEV equipment, including steel bumpers on both ends and lots of underbody protection. In terms of these pieces, the Ford does have similar equipment. But on the Chevy, you actually get functional rock rails. On the Ford, you just get side steps. But the elephant in the room here are the 35-inch mud terrain tires that are standard on the Bison Edition. Moving up to a 35-inch tire increases critical approach angle, breakover, and departure clearances. The Ranger, it just comes with standard 33-inch all-terrain tires. And though this is a good setup for most applications, when it comes to climbing obstacles, 35 inches are simply better. So that is simply why this category goes to the Chevy. The next category is a very important one for these vehicles. It's their ability to do truck stuff, like actual truck stuff. Both the Colorado and Ranger are only available as crew cabs, so they have very similar small second rows and short beds. But the Chevy fills up a good portion of its bed with a full-size spare tire. Granted, it looks cool, but it kind of ruins the ability to actually use this as a truck. You make your small bed even smaller. Both of these trucks are equipped with a spray-in bed liner, they have tie-downs, and power in the bed. So in those terms, they're actually comparable. But where you really see one of these trucks pull out in the lead is when it comes to how much capacity it can handle. The Chevy can handle up to 1,050 pounds or 476 kilograms worth of cargo, including driver. And it maxes out at 5,500 pounds or 2,494 kilograms for trailering. The Ford is simply better here. Towing is capped at 5,510 pounds or 2,500 kilograms, just a little bit more. But payload maxes out at 1,358 pounds or 615 kilograms. Getting an extra 358 pounds of cargo is not insignificant. For that reason, and of course the more useful bed, this win goes to the Ford. Going on any adventure usually means a lot of seat time. So next we're going to look at comfort and ergonomics. Because of its large tires and standard 3-inch lift, getting in and out of the Chevy is more of a chore. The sliders simply don't make good steps, and there's no handle to pull yourself into the seat. Once inside, the seat is a little bit on the firm side, although it does include both heating and ventilation, which is a nice touch. I do get lots of power adjustments. The passenger seat only has manual controls, and just a couple of them. I just kind of feel like, you know, over 60 grand, that's inappropriate penny pinching on Chevy's part. It's just not necessary. The steering wheel here is basic but functional. It has a nice wrap and a few buttons. Even though headlight controls have been moved to the touchscreen, which was kind of a big deal when we first found out about that last year, they do include a lot of physical buttons here, everything from air conditioning to vehicle setup, and I do really like that, especially the fact that I have front and rear locker switches here, and then I also get the auto start stop as a button down here as well. This truck also includes Bose sound, which is pretty good, but overall the cabin, though nicely designed, a lot of the materials just kind of feel a little cheaper than I really want at $60,000, and especially down here, they have this big piano black piece that is bound to scratch. Don't care for that. Now let's see what the Ford looks like. Because of the large side step, the Ranger Raptor is very easy to get into. The seats here, much deeper, very nice contouring. This steering wheel is one of the best that I've ever felt, and it also has these large paddle shifters. Definitely feels more like a premium experience inside of this truck. The materials in general are all quite good. There's a couple misses here and there, but for the most part, it is a feature-complete experience with a unique look, and everything really feels special in this truck. Also for sound, we get B&O, which is a high-quality sound system. I have this fun shifter, which is unique to the Raptor. Down here, Ford did not go with the gloss black. They have this matte look, so I think this is going to wear better over time. And then for shifting between 4 high, 4 low, 2H, and auto, I have a little button here, just like I have in the Chevy, as well as a dial to switch between the different drive modes. And I like that drive modes are actually selected on the gauge cluster instead of the center console. I feel like that's more of a driver-centric thing. And it also changes the gauge cluster depending on my drive mode, which is neat. I do kind of wish that Ford didn't rely so heavily on the touchscreen here. However, it is a beautiful touchscreen, and it especially excels when you need to do maps. The fact that this just has a nicer interior overall is just a plus. However, I do appreciate the physical buttons in the Chevy. Now to compare the second rows, this is the Chevy Colorado, and it is really snug. My feet are barely stuffed under the seat in front of me. I do have a little room for my knees, but not much, and my head is almost touching the roof. I do get vents back here, which is nice. I also have AC plus USB-A, USB-C. Hit my head just turning. Here I do get a fold-down armrest with integrated cup holders. That's nice. Yeah, this is super snug. Now let's check out the Raptor. In the Ranger Raptor, I have room for my knees, room for my head. I am 6'1", legs torso proportionate. If I were driving, this is where I would be seated, and I fit great back here. I don't get vents, but I do have AC power plus USB-C and USB-A, and a fold-down armrest with integrated cup holders. To me, having a nice seat and steering wheel are essential. That, plus its ability to make ingress-egress easier thanks to the side steps, makes the Ranger Raptor the winner in this category. Though I do certainly appreciate the actual physical buttons that were included in the Chevy. Here in 2024, if you're going to make a great off-road truck, you need to have great suspension. And here, both trucks really deliver. On the ZR2, we get Chevy's Multimatic DSSV system with jounce control. These dampers are based on a spool valve system developed for racing. The benefit of the Bison is a durable shock that provides a consistent and comfortable ride, even in harsh conditions. Bump and rebound are automatically adjusted for street and off-road use, depending on wheel position and a variety of other inputs. The Bison Edition does add a special jounce control system, which adds a nitrogen-charged bump stop to smooth out hard landings. Where both Toyota and Ford opted for coil springs in the back of their mid-size off-road trucks, Chevy is sticking to leaf spring technology. Even though it is relying on 18th century wagon technology on its back end, I really felt no issues with this suspension even when driving off-road at speed. It's a great setup. The Raptor Ranger gets the Fox 2.5-inch semi-active live valve system. It too was developed for racing. The Raptor gets coilovers in the front and piggyback reservoirs matched with coil springs in the back. Like the Chevy, the Ford system is designed to take the abuse of off-roading without overheating and smooth out bottoming out impacts. But the Ford system is electronically controlled to provide a driver-adjustable experience. It also measures the driver inputs to adjust to each driver's individual style. Even though both these suspension packages are very different, they're both excellent in actual application. So I'm going to have to give this one a tie. With the Chevy, you get a great system that just works. With the Ford, the driver gets more choices, but ultimately you get the same result: an outlandishly good ride at high speeds in harsh conditions. Now let's talk tech. The Bison here includes an optional camera package that is simply next level, showing not only front and rear views, but also under the vehicle. Yeah, that's right, there are cameras underneath this vehicle. The Ford, yeah, it can't touch that, though it does have a nice surround view system. Both vehicles here have advanced touchscreen systems, the Ford being the larger of the two, but both are large enough. Both also support wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, making them pretty much feature equivalents. And then there's the drive modes. The Ford does have a trail control system, which it's kind of like a crawl control. The Chevy doesn't have that, but the Chevy does come with a terrain mode, which is really neat. It gives you one pedal off-road driving. Again, both these trucks have a lot of features that really make advanced off-roading techniques available to even amateurs. So yet again in this category, both these trucks are very, very close. But I'm going to have to give this win to the Chevy because of its advanced off-road camera system. Now it's time to talk about what it's like to actually live with both of these trucks every day. The Ranger Raptor here lists for $57,690 US including destination. The Chevy ZR2 Bison, as we have it optioned here, is $65,125 US. Wow, that's expensive and that's absurd. As for driving it on the street, even with the massive 35-inch tires, the Chevy is really easy to handle. The Turbo 4 does provide ample power for passing and accelerating just like you would expect. However, even though our test truck is loaded with safety options, it was still missing one thing that is standard on the Ranger Raptor. The Raptor has Ford's advanced cruise control system with lane centering. The Chevy has a more primitive lane detection system that just bumps lanes. Granted, both systems do require hands on the steering wheel, but for interstate travel, the Ford system can help reduce fatigue. Both trucks have fully digital gauge clusters. The Ford one is more customizable and has better graphics in my opinion. Actually, in terms of all digital design, the Ford team just does a better job. The weird mix of standard Google graphics and Chevy graphics kind of makes the Bison digital experience a little bit of a mess. Also, I don't think any of their gauge clusters actually look very good. Then there's the sound that both these trucks make. Yeah, some of the Raptor noise is fake, but I kind of love that Raptor soundtrack. The Bison, it just sounds like a truck. Doesn't have an actual like Bison sound. For everyday driving experience and a much better price of entry, I will have to say Ranger Raptor wins this category. If you've been keeping score, you probably realize by now that yes, Raptor wins this shootout. However, both these trucks are some of the most capable mid-size trucks ever made in the entirety of history. If you can't get where you want to go with these two guys, I don't know what to tell you. But the fact is that if you want a truck that has more off-road capability, then you need to go with the Chevy. You just can't beat 35s from the factory. And that has over 12 inches of ground clearance. This one has just over 10 inches of ground clearance. And when you're talking off-road capability, clearances can make all the difference. Beyond that, they both have very good four-wheel drive systems. They both have front and rear lockers. They're both really properly equipped for pretty much any adventure. My personal choice is, of course, the Ranger Raptor. This is the one that I actually bought. In terms of comparison, I would give no shade to somebody who picks out Chevy Colorado Bison, because that thing is pretty awesome. What do you think? Which one would you pick? The Ford or the Chevy? Post a comment below. For Driving Sports TV, I'm Ryan Douthit. Thanks for watching. Be sure to tune in. We got a lot more stuff just like this, as well as off-road adventures featuring both of these trucks on this channel. We'll see you again real soon, right here.